Kate Middleton's grave error during her unidentified hospital stay. After undergoing unexplained surgery, the Princess of Wales is still in the hospital, and the situation has exposed some worrying information. Following the announcements of surgery by both Kate, the Princess of Wales, and King Charles, who made their announcements just 1 hour and a half apart, the events of the last 10 days have taken on a decidedly medical tone. At the time of writing, His Majesty was scheduled to have an operation to repair an enlarged prostate, while the princess was recovering in the London clinic from an undisclosed abdominal surgery. This boulder-sized curveball led to two significant events. Initially, Prince William showed up to see his wife and was seen driving off in a car that appeared to have been stolen from Batman's garage due to its sleek and black appearance. All of this is true, even if the man appears to relish refolding his assortment of jumpers in his free time. Furthermore, the NHS website was strained due to an enormous increase in traffic, which was entirely Charles' fault. The king has sought treatment for an enlarged prostate, in common with thousands of men each year, according to a statement released by Buckingham Palace. The NHS page about enlarged prostates received 1,414 visits the day before some palace PA was meticulously shorthanding this all down. That increased to 16,410 visits in the 24 hours following the announcement of His Majesty's news, or a rise of more than 1,000% for those of you without a pocket abacus. How many of those men or worried family members will now go to their general practitioner to talk about their symptoms? By making the prostate the main story this week, how many lives might Charles have saved? Like you, I don't much want to discuss or think about this organ, but this circumstance reveals something crucial. Kate handled her hospital stay terribly. Large error, enormous. The princess may be curled up and enjoying mid-morning television in a spotless, starched white chamber filled with bleepy machines and enough floral arrangements to outfit Westminster Abbey, for a number of reasons. The abdomen begins with the liver and finishes somewhere around the colon. The mother of three is not letting anyone outside of the Middleton family conversation know exactly what's bothering her, and I can't help but feel that the princess has blown this huge chance. This month, Kate had the opportunity to make a significant impact, but she chose not to. She may be a princess, a future queen, and the owner of a tube line named after her, but she is still a person and has the right to privacy, just like everyone else. She is under no need to have her team issue a press release each time she experiences mild IBS symptoms, nor is she required to share every sniffle, discomfort, and small rash with the aggressive public. But when the ex-part-time accessory buyer and charity roller disco planner, voila, the least recommended CV on LinkedIn, got married to William, she was not only committing to a lifetime of acting like an Aston Villa fan, but also to one heck of a job. In the 20th and 21st centuries, monarchy is a strange and inept institution, as modernity does not quite mesh with a feudal, inherited system of enormous privilege and wealth. But somehow, without anyone ever saying so out loud or singing along to a detail line, an unwritten agreement was reached. The royal family would not go around gloating in one of their gold carriages, but would use their lofty titles and position to try and make the world just a little bit better for citizens. The unspoken agreement was that the Crown and Company would keep the palaces, the numerous country estates, the tens of thousands of acres of land, and the world's largest collection of Da Vinci sketches, a true story. In exchange, they would donate most afternoons to charities that help the homeless, the diabetic community, or organizations that rescue donkeys. Thus, the king was keeping his end of the bargain when he gave his private secretary instructions to tell the world about his enlarged nether region. No, don't tell me where the prostate is actually located. He was also placing himself in a situation that he probably wouldn't have preferred, such as benignly having his office send him off to open a biscuit factory in Cumberland. All I wish was that Kate had followed suit. Why is it so mysterious? The princess's condition is not malignant, which is all that Kensington Palace has disclosed about her. I assume this information was simply disclosed to allay public fears of a mass panic in the Asda Isles. Reducing public anxiety is admirable, but it doesn't really make up for such a significant lost opportunity. The princess has completely missed the opportunity to destigmatize whatever disease she could be suffering from and to bring attention to whatever ailment she might be facing. Charles has done the world a wonderful favor by forcing me to type the word prostate way too frequently. Why then has Kate not? The odd thing is that the 42-year-old mother has spent a significant portion of her royal career doing just that, like a gallant knight on the charge, lance ready. She, William, and the man who was once HRH, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, established Heads Together, a mental health charity, in 2016. We realized no one was talking about it, no one wanted to talk about it. The Prince of Wales later remarked of the founding, adding that Catherine, Harry, and I put our necks on the line. Since then, Kate has consistently demonstrated a clear desire to share even the tiniest glimpses of her private life with the public in the interest of the greater good, which is a significant move for a family business so reclusive that they presumably go to the toilet to use the loo. Consider the Princess of Wales, who spoke about the difficulties she had when living in rural Wales and raising her first child, Prince George. "I had a tiny, tiny baby in the middle of Anglesey," she stated in 2020. "It felt so remote, so disconnected. William was working night shifts and I was alone without relatives." Around the same time, she was on a podcast where she talked about her mixed emotions and mother guilt over having to stand in front of hundreds of cameras almost quickly after giving birth. No one has ever implied that Kate's backbone is anything other than titanium. That's why it's disheartening that Kate is unwilling to adopt a more open and transparent policy going forward. Is Kate becoming more like Meghan? I simply wish the Princess of Wales had followed Charles' lead and used his diagnosis to benefit others. Charles has received plaudits in the UK for doing just that. I know that after reading this, some of you who are ardent royal purists will splutter that even the information Kensington Palace released about Kate differs from Her Late Majesty's strategy. Recall the late Queen's overnight hospital stay in October 2021. This information was only made public after The Sun discovered it and went all out for their front-page splash with moon landing-worthy font story. Writer and personal friend of the royal family Giles Brandreth disclosed following the death that the previous queen had, in fact, been battling a type of bone marrow cancer, a fact that Buckingham Palace had never, ever in a million, jillion years been going to admit. I know it's difficult to reconcile responsibility and privacy, but that's just part of the package and risks of being a royal. If only Kate had thought of Meghan, her sister-in-law, the Duchess of Sussex, a statement I can't recall typing for positively years. The Duchess disclosed her miscarriage in an emotional first-person essay she wrote for the New York Times at the beginning of 2021. It was bold and vulnerable, and it was an ironically ideal example of the central tenet of royalty, leveraging one's position and the attention it garners to improve the lives of others. The princess is incredibly well-liked by the public, and I'm pretty sure that if she'd have disclosed any information concerning her health, we would have witnessed the same outpouring of concern and well wishes. There must be a countless number of late middle-aged British men moving uneasily in the waiting rooms of their general practitioners right now as they leaf through 2014 issues of Heat. These guys would not be present if the king had not been willing to use the word prostate in a news release. I salute you, Your Majesty. Let's also agree that we will never, ever again discuss the king's behind.